First reaction to Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Here we go. So, we've got some colourful blob people. Could they be the guardians of the Cyverse? And the purple one is another one? So, I thought the purple one was going to be a bad guy. Apparently he's a good guy. Wow. Got obliterated. So that was 5 years in the past. Okay. I bet I like the look of some of Yusaku's monsters from the OP, as well as Revolver's monsters. His Ace Dragon looks pretty cool with the black and green. Ooh, what's this? So Yusaku's got the older dual disc. Perhaps that stops people from hacking him in VRAINS, so they can't manipulate what cards he gets. Possibly. Link VRAINS. Idiot is a prohibited word. What? Who would want that? Charisma duelist. Yeah, pa. Oh no, he's complimenting me as well. How awesome is it that his lair is a hot dog stand? Pretty cool. Pretty cool transformation. I like that. Just flies into VRAINS. So VRAINS is actually an actual virtual world then. It's not like a augmented one or anything. That's pretty cool. You know what? I thought it was really good. Really like that. I would say this is more of a plot-driven story than most of the rest of the series. I think Arc 5 had quite a good plot story. But I think this one seems better at this point. It seems like there's an actual goal for everything and what we're doing and things like that. Yeah, I liked it. Speed duels are back, I guess. We'll see if speed counters and things like that are a thing. I doubt they will be. But I'm alright with what they're called. Data Storm duels. We'll see how it goes in the next episode. So yeah, next episode's going to be awesome. Well, it looks like in the preview that Yusaku either loses or he takes quite a bit of damage because he drops all his cards and his dual disc vanishes. So, interesting what's going to happen in the next episode. So yeah, let's just move on to the review then, shall we? So the day has finally come. The new Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS series has just started. And I must say, I enjoyed it. Now, I can see a couple of people being 50-50 on this first episode, due to the fact mainly there was no duel in the first episode. For a Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, I can see some people being quite annoyed with that. But this is my argument against that. I think this series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to be very much a plot-driven series. I would argue that Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds kind of went with more of a story-driven series, whereas the rest of the series, though they did have a plot, they kind of did their own thing for a while, and it was kind of a go with the flow kind of series. So if that is what this series is going to do, I am absolutely okay with it, because I really like the main character. He seems very level-headed, very analytical, which is very similar to Yusei Fudo, one of the favourite protagonists among the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. I think I like what this series is going. Yeah, so let's start by talking about the main character, because that's what's most important. If we're going to follow this person throughout the series, we have to like this guy. Now, Yusaku is a very mature character. You can see it in the way that he talks to people and the way he acts. He's also a very analytical person. The fact that he's a hacker as well sort of adds to this. But you can see by the way he talks to Shima, he says to him that, I've got 3 reasons why I don't need you to give me advice on being a duelist. And he lists off 3 reasons just from the short conversation that they've just had, which all seem pretty true to be honest with you, and it seemed to be true. But then you think, oh, he's a bit of a dick, but maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. But then he goes on to say 3 good reasons. And the one that really got me was the very last one he says, where he says, and the fact that you've come up to me, someone that seems like a loner, maybe doesn't have very many friends, and you've made an effort to come talk to me, that shows that you're a good person. And even though he ends up insulting him in the end, it was nice that he recognised that. So he's not like a Sheldon Cooper. He's not just doesn't understand other people. That's why he's a loner. He's a loner because he chooses to be. I think this kind of character will resonate a lot for quite a few people watching this series, because all the other main characters throughout the series have been quite extroverted characters, except for maybe Yusei and Yugi. But I think that with this character, it kind of matches that, and I think it appeals to a lot more people. Now, we learn in this episode that Yusaku, he does know how to duel. He has duelled in the past, but he says he dislikes it now. Or at least we're being told that he doesn't enjoy dueling anymore. And this is due to the fact of a past incident that we don't know anything about yet. But we know that it involves his father, who I think runs the hot dog business thing, as well as his father's brother. So that could be something that'll come up later in the series. Now, we were told before this series came out that Yusaku had never duelled before, or he isn't a very good duelist. And from what we've seen so far, since he's taking on the Knights of Hanoi, he seems like quite a powerful duelist. However, my only counter-argument to that is we haven't actually seen him do a full duel yet. So perhaps in the next episode, we do see him doing the speed duel on the surfboard thing. But in the preview for the next episode,
we see him fall and he drops his cards and his duel disc disappears. So is that trying to say that he may lose in the next episode, or maybe that something bad will happen while he's dueling? So yeah, I'm curious to see what his dueling skills are like. Very interested to see. But he does have a helper in the form of a kind of astral or Yami Yugi kind of thing. He has the little AI thing on his watch, which I do believe can give him advice if he needs it. So whether he uses that or not, we're gonna have to find out in the series. Speaking of what happened in the past as well, we do get a very small flashback of Yusaku as a child. So it's sort of hinting that something in the past, some trauma has happened there. Not too sure what it is, but it's going to be most likely something to do with the Knights of Hanoi, maybe Revolver, and maybe his father's brother. I had a theory for a little while that Revolver may have been his uncle, so his father's brother, because he wears that mask and we're not too sure, but we'll have to see. The rest of the main characters, we didn't get too much time with, unfortunately. We had Shima, who was the first guy that talked to Yusaku, and he seems just like a fanboy of all of the charisma duelists, which are basically this universe's or this timeline's entertainment style duelist. So they're basically just people with big personalities that do these duels. So yeah, and the two that we meet in this episode are Onizuka, the strong, fierce duelist, and the Blue Angel, who does a trickster-style deck or something like that. So I really want to see a duel. Those two, of course, we didn't really get much dialogue between them, so we don't really know what their personalities are like just yet. Even though we have seen some images of what the Blue Angel looks like in real life, she looks very plain, very average. And while in the VRAINS world, she is obviously very colourful, bright, and big personality. So that's something I really want to look forward to seeing. Revolver has an awesome character name. We still don't know too much about him. 5 years ago, he tried to control the Cyverse universe, and unfortunately, that little thing, what was his name, Ignis, managed to escape by hiding the place. And there are also some other little data people that are protecting the world, so which confirms that Ignis is actually a good guy, and which confused me because I thought he was gonna be a bad guy just based on his looks. So yeah, that was a bad thing to do on my part. I'm sorry, I prejudged you, little Ignis creature. Ignis seems like an interesting character so far. He seems very excited to know that somebody's trying to oppose him, specifically Yusaku, which I still think is going to lead to some sort of backstory between these two characters. We don't know that just yet, but we're going to have to look forward to it in the future. Another character that could be the rival is the one that works for, I'm just going to call it the government. I actually can't remember what it was for. Sol, I think he works for Sol. He's like the younger looking chap, kind of like the Reggie vibes or the Kaiba vibes. He may actually be the rival, I'm not too sure. So Revolver being the antagonist and that guy being the rival, I'm not too sure just yet. This may have been revealed in some other stuff, but so yeah, he's working with people who like big chess pieces, and he's talked to someone called Bishop, which is weird because the Knights of Hanoi, there is a knight piece on the chessboard, so I don't know if there's any correlation between them two, or if the Soul people are corrupt in some way and actually do want to get the Cyverse for themselves for own nefarious reasons. We're going to have to find out. Now, what did I think of the actual VRAINS world? Not incredibly impressed with that so far just yet, but then again, I haven't seen too much of it. It's literally a virtual world. The way Yusaku gets into it, he's got like a pod installed in his hot dog vending machine, which, how awesome is that he has a secret base inside of a hot dog vending thing. Pretty cool. But he goes inside of it, and then that allows him to go into the data world. And we see the data world. It's kind of like the real world, but it's got like landmarks. Like, for example, the Eiffel Tower was obviously in one scene when they were dueling, and I can't remember what was in the other one. But yeah, it seems to be just kind of like a condensed world with all these landmarks and things like that. What wasn't too impressed with it. I'd like to know if they can do anything interesting in this world. Like, obviously they can do the data stream, storm, whatever it's called, and they can ride on the surfboards. But yeah, it's just, I think it's just a way to get the monsters into the real world kind of thing. Not into the real world, but into the duels where they can ride on top of them and things like that. Even though we did get that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, I guess this is something a little bit different. This is something I want to quickly bring up. They made an effort to point out the fact that Yusaku has a different duel disc to one of the other characters. Where he shows his duel disc, he says, oh, you've got one of the older models. These ones you don't actually need to put your cards inside. They sort of are all inside, like AI kind of thing. And then I think this may come up later, where the Knights of Hanoi, during a duel, can hack the cards and choose what cards you draw, basically, so they can sort of rig the duel. Whereas Yusaku, because he has his own cards, that can't happen. So yeah, that's my theory anyway. I hope it comes true because I think it's a good theory. Now I'll just try and get through some of the little tits and bits that were included in this episode that I may not have covered. First of all, we see only a little tiny bit of Yusaku's monsters, but mainly in the OP we see a lot of them, and I really like the look of Yusaku's ace, his warrior monster Decode Talker, as well as his firewall dragon. They both seem really cool. But I think it was Revolver's ace monster. It was kind of like a black dragon with like a green thing. Kind of remind me of Supreme King Dragon Zark's form. I think I like the look of this. Some people are annoyed the fact that dragon monsters are the ace monsters again. I'm okay with it. They are cool monsters, so you can't really go too wrong with it. Anyway, guys, I feel like I've covered the majority of the episode. I would love to know what you think of this first episode in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. What do you think of Yusaku as a main character? What do you sort of think of the plot so far and where things are going? If you guys want to do one massive thing for me, why does everybody want to take the Psyverse? What's the big deal about that? That's the only thing I don't understand. Is it what can shut down the entire VRAINS system? Is that what they're going for? Because that's the only thing I don't know what. Why is the Psyverse, or the Cyberse, why is that so important? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Thanks for watching.